These 5 minutes flash dumps are super nice. Look at this, guys. Look at this dump over here right now. This was something like, I don't know, when it started over here towards downside, it's like 5%, but you know, from this last candle was, you know, 4%, 5-minute dump towards downside, just this down here. You know, it is a big flash candle. Now everybody is asleep, so that's good. I think now we don't sleep because we watch the charts, but you know, regular people do sleep. They don't know what's happening, and you know, it just might be good because this might be over very, very fast. We don't know. We're gonna check it out, but you know, the flash dumps, they do tend to break up very, very fast. Now, first of all, I did look at a big charts. You know, the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame. I did go all, you know, check out all the metrics. You know, it still looks good, guys. It still looks good. Now, there are some things that might be looking a little bit shady, but you know, overall, still everything looks good. That said, we're not gonna focus too much about that. But what I want to tell you over here is that until certain things are actually broken, nothing is actually done, right? So the first thing I want to look at over here is the weekly time frame. We got a very, very nice trend line over here that goes something like this. And what you're gonna see here is this is getting broken right now. So, you know, people are already panicking and stuff like that, but you gotta know this is a weekly RSI trend line, and this weekly stuff, you know, ends at the end of the week. We are just on Monday right now. We are just breaking down right now, but as you see up here, you know, previous close, this green candle closed up here. Right now we are down here, so you know, depending on how the week, you know, plays out, we can just, you know, close the above over here. So we still haven't broken the trend line over here. This is this last move towards upside up here. We still haven't closed that below down there yet, so you know, no need to panic. I mean, tomorrow or next week, you know, next week might be time to panic, but you know, it's not just right now. It's not just right now. Now there are other stuff that are not broken just yet. So if you go to the daily time frame over here, what you're gonna see over here, there is a very, very nice line over here that we've been watching for a while right now, and we are kind of, you know, trying to break that towards downside, but it's just getting picked up. So you know, even this line is not broken just yet. Now this is the daily time frame, and you know, tomorrow it might be time for panic, but you know, there is that. Now, how far down we gonna go? What are the main support levels and stuff like that? That's not important. I mean, it's a little bit important, but not that much important. Let me explain to you, you know, how this oftentimes works. So when price goes down, what it tries to do is find, you know, get, you know, these leveraged longs out of the market, you know, hit the stop losses on other longs and stuff like that, right? They're trying to get people out of the market, so the price is going towards that liquidity area. Now, there are two ways how this can actually play out, and we've been saying that, you know, down here from something like 53k all the way up here to these stops over here, give or take, whether you are considering this over here at the bottom or not, between 60k and 53k, this is what we call a liquidity zone. Why? There is literally no trading, you know, being done over here. This just kind of zoomed between these two levels over here towards upside, over here towards upside. There was a lot of being, you know, or a lot of longs being, you know, made over here. On the downside, I have a lot of new longs over here. So if you go towards downside over here, inside liquidity zone between 60 and 52k could be a level where we actually are looking right now to get in, and you know, inside that level, you know, pick up the liquidity and then, you know, continue towards upside again, because we're gonna continue towards upside again eventually. But you know, what's gonna happen next? So this So this liquidity area is, the way I see it, very, very important. Now, there is other way how this can actually play out, and that comes to this line over here. So let me explain to you a little bit about this. Oftentimes when you are looking at these liquidity areas and these very, very major level of resistance or support, breaking the support level gets you into that liquidity area. Breaking major support level gets into the liquidity area, because oftentimes those major supports are right there, you know, where a lot of these, you know, stop losses start to get triggered and a lot of people start selling. But there is other ways where we can have that, you know, that capitulation phase. So, you know, this move over here where we have, you know, this horizontal level of support, this over here breakdown into that liquidity area would be a capitulation move on a horizontal line, right? On the other hand, you can have a capitulation move into the liquidity area that is not actually horizontal. So these are horizontal levels, right? But this is not a horizontal level. This is actually a rising level. So oftentimes you can also get into the liquidity area. Anytime you break any kind of support, you get into the liquidity or capitulation move, right? So breaking this line over here, which is actually very, very important, and a lot of people are looking at it, breaking this line towards the downside could get us into that liquidity area without actually getting into the secondary liquidity area down here. So you can just do something like this over here, get inside some kind of box and then right back again towards upside. Why? Because even as soon as you start breaking the trend over here towards downside, a lot of people start selling. There is a lot of liquidity picked up. It only depends whether that liquidity is enough to push us towards upside, or are we gonna get into this liquidity zone and then go towards upside as well, towards upside. But breaking this trend line over here towards downside can definitely get us into the liquidity zone. And there is two ways this liquidity zone, liquidity can get actually picked up. The first one is a box over here. The second one is a box like this over here towards upside, where the price just goes zigzag over here and then comes right back up there again. I mean, there are a couple of ways how this can actually play out, but nothing is broken. The dump is big. It's like 4%. A lot of people are very, very fearful right now that we're gonna dump to whatever levels they're looking at, and altcoins are definitely bleeding towards downside big time. But it's just initial dump. It's just initial dump. Now the best case scenario, of course, from right now is bouncing off of this these fear levels, because right now there is a lot of fears in the market. Bitcoin is down 4%, everything is crashing. Is this the top or not? Too much euphoria, all meme coins already pumped, what's gonna happen next? So, it could be a very also nice level just, to bounce off this support level over here towards upside and, just go towards the upside. But if you don't do that, if you do in fact, start breaking this a little bit towards downside, I will be looking at some kind of box over here where we, zigzag inside box and then towards upside, or some kind of rising channel up here where we go towards upside. And the worst case scenario, that's between 60 and 52 levels over here inside the liquidity area, pick up the liquidity and then go towards upside. Because over here towards downside, that means the bull market is pretty much over. If you go even lower than that, so we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. So we want to see definitely a move over here towards upside, over here towards upside, maybe a little bit up here towards upside. Just this move towards any kind of move towards upside after these moves that are right now happening towards downside. But guys, do know there's a lot of fear in the market. People are very, very scared right now, especially when they wake up and see what's actually going on. So there is that. Take care, guys. Take care, and hit the like button on the way out. Hit the like button on the way out. But no problem with the charts, guys. No problem with the charts. Everything looks nice in the end. It is going down though. But I did look at the big time frames, monthly and stuff like that. No, I don't want to make the video any longer than it needs to be. So take care, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Where is my outro?